So moving to Malaysia did not go the way that I had planned or imagined. And in this video, I kind of want to talk about what I thought it's going to be like and what it actually has been like for me. And for those that are new here, my name is Roman and I sold everything back in Australia and moved here to live in Malaysia. And I've been here for now just over 3 months. As I said, things didn't go the way that I thought they would, and I wanted to share that experience with you. So why did I move to Malaysia, or what started the process? And the process started for me in December when I invested into the crypto markets. And I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions about crypto, that it's dangerous, that it's risky. I totally get it. I've been involved in crypto for a long time, and last December I started to do a lot of research. I started to learn about it, and for me the risk was worth it. I invested into crypto and was slowly learning about it. I was always listening to YouTube videos, I joined groups, so I have such a deeper understanding about crypto and how it works and how the cycles work. And I'm not just blindly gambling my money. Obviously it is risky, but I have some knowledge around it. And that's what I was in it for a while, and as time went on, I started to look for options because I actually had a friend that was living overseas. Like, the capital gains tax was a lot less than Australia. And that's what the initial spark came from. I was like, oh wow, yeah, we have such high capital gains tax here in Australia. Then I had a friend, she was living in Bali, and she was like, I love this place, it's amazing. And that was the second thing that kind of made me start to think about things. I'm like, what am I doing here? Because in Australia, I was struggling, financially struggling, just work, grind. And I've made videos about this before, so I won't go too much into it. But life just wasn't moving, and I didn't see a really bright future for me in Australia. So I started looking into countries that have no capital gains tax or low capital gains tax, and Malaysia was one of those places. So how did I imagine my life being here in Malaysia? This is kind of the plan, or what I thought it would be like when I was back in Australia. So I thought if I sell everything, I had around $13,000, and I thought that would get me around 6 months here in Malaysia if I lived on a budget by myself. Because I looked at rent, I estimated it would be around $1,000 Australian, and then I live on $1,000 a month. That's kind of how I thought, and from the research I did, I thought that was doable. And then also the plan was to then start to take profits around October, November, which is now, and I would be able to continue to live off those profits and sustain myself, and then continue to grow my YouTube, my social media. I thought I would have kind of this stress-free life, not like financial stress-free life, because back in Australia I had a lot of stress around finances, and that's why I kind of wanted to move here, is to have this room to breathe, to grow, to focus on creating content without having this financial burden. Because I've tried it back in Australia, I've tried stopping work and focusing on content, but it was just too hard because the financial stress would always get to me, and I'd have to go back to work and I'd kind of drop out and start again. So the thought was I would have no stress here, I can create content and travel around filming and documenting my life. And the content that I actually thought I'd be creating was more like this, where I'd just share my journey. It would be more kind of a personal development kind of stuff, inspirational stuff, because that's what I did back in Australia. So that was the plan. But what actually happened in reality was very, very different. So when I actually arrived in Malaysia, because I'm a non-resident, and I didn't have a visa, and I had to pay up front nearly $9,000 to rent my room for 6 months. And that was a huge financial shock and stress that I didn't expect. And on that note, why I chose to live here, it's still reasonably expensive, but compared to what I was paying in Australia, for me, I thought on my budget and how I was thinking things would work out, I could afford this comfortably and still have enough money to sustain myself for a while. And that was the initial process and thought process behind it. Also, why I wanted something nice is because I spend majority of my time at home. I didn't want something that felt constricted and restrained, and where I come home and it just doesn't feel inspiring, it doesn't feel motivating. Like, I wanted to feel open in the space, and that's the place that I chose. It's new, it has a good energy, I feel that I want to be here, I'm inspired to create content. And because I don't go out a lot, and I'm 39, so I'm not the kind of person that live in a shared house or a tiny little house, and that's just not me. That's not the reason why I moved to Malaysia. The whole reason for me moving to Malaysia was for a better life. And that's kind of how I thought about it, and that's how I thought it's going to work. But it didn't turn out that way. Obviously, when I arrived, as I mentioned, I had to pay out a lot. And then I met Tamana, which some of you may know. She does my editing and filming. So Tamana's actually come to stay with me. So she's come with me to work full time to help me with the videos and the editing. And it happened pretty spontaneous and unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to have her on board, helping me, and just to create more better content, because I'm a bloody noob and a complete amateur. So to have you on board, it's gonna be freaking sick. And I won't go too much into the story, but pretty much I asked, because she is studying here, so I asked her to come live with me because she was working at a bar at the time and studying, to come to live with me and help me with my YouTube and with editing, because I still didn't know how to edit long form videos. And so she moved in with me, and she's been living with me for almost 2 months now. I wasn't paying her a lot, but I was just providing a room for her here, which didn't cost me anything extra because I was going to get this apartment anyway, and also just providing food and things like that. So she just lives with me and helps me with creating content. But I didn't realize how much that would affect my budget, and my spending became more than what I expected. And my content changed. As I said, I thought I would be creating videos, these kind of videos, but when I first created my first video, or my second video around just walking around Bukit Bintang, it really blew up and it started to do really well. And I honestly thought it's gonna take me at least a year to get my YouTube to where it is now. So I didn't expect to be where I am now after 3 months. I thought it's going to take me at least a year, if not more. And that's why I was prepared to not make any money but live off the crypto. But again, the other thing, as I mentioned, crypto, that's not doing well. Like, I don't want to go into the politics and the craziness of it, but Trump absolutely destroyed the market for the last year. If you know, you know. And that's been really difficult because I was expecting to take profits and live off that. And at the moment, I can't because the markets are down, and now I have to wait. And it might take another month, 2 months, 3 months to recover. I know it will recover, but it's being able to now last that extra 2 to 3 months where I don't have much savings left, probably enough for another month, and then I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So things haven't gone the way that I have planned and the way that I thought they would, but I know this short-term pain is worth it for the long-term gain. Because back in Australia, I didn't see any potential in my future. But here I feel if I can get through the next 3-4 months when actually crypto does well and I can start to take profits, I know my future is going to be much better. I just have to get through this difficult period. But it is challenging because it's not what I expected. It's not how I thought it's going to go. And that's usually life. Life doesn't go the way that we plan. Life doesn't go the way that we expected. But it's just what we do with it and how do we work around it. I'm still hopeful about my future here in Malaysia. I am cautiously optimistic. It's scary, it's hard, but I'm still optimistic. And yes, obviously the financial stress affects me. It affects, my ability to create content because sometimes I shut down, I feel uninspired, I feel unmotivated. It consumes a lot of my time and energy, but at the same time, I have tools and ability to move through those things. I know things will get better. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I just wanted to share that with you as sometimes, as I mentioned, we plan for things and we expect things to be a certain way, but reality shows up differently. And it's not about what the reality is, it's how we react to that reality and how we adapt and change to that. And I'm adapting and I'm changing and I'm learning and I'm growing. And I know I'm gonna come out the other side. So if you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.